had something like 40,000 people that have gone through our registration process. And overall, I think that's been pretty seamless for them. And really, um, it's funny because when you ask about the impact that it's had on our operations, probably the expected answer is that it's, made like a huge maximum impact. But in a way, it's made a very minor impact. And that's kind of better. I'm probably not explaining that well, but the fact that it's a process that is kind of running very smoothly in parallel to our core operations without being a huge drain on our development team, our customer success team, is phenomenal, because it's not something that we're constantly having to pay attention to that's kind of bringing us off of or away from our own strategic things that we need to focus on. The technical documentation that was available on the website, without even engaging with you guys, that gave us a really good opportunity to start to understand what an integration would look like, and what would be sort of supported from that perspective. In comparison, the documentation available from some of the competitors was just really vague. So we had sort of looked into that documentation before we even did an initial reach out to start talking to someone. You were able to help get us access to the test environment before we actually had a contract in place. And that was extremely, extremely beneficial to us, because it allowed us to really get in and start planning out what that integration was going to look like, as opposed to waiting until we had all of our ducks in a row from a contract perspective and then being kind of behind the 8 ball. So if you hadn't really helped facilitate that, I think it would have made things much more difficult for us from an integration perspective, just purely because of the timing. You guys are SOC 2 certified and also GDPR compliant. For us as a SOC 2 certified company, like, it's really important, obviously, to make sure that our vendors also have those same certifications, so that we're not somehow in, I guess, violation of our own certification requirements. So, the fact that those certifications were in place and that we could clearly see that from your website and access the documentation was super helpful.